The Bible reveals little illustrations of angelic activities. Angels are classified into two categories, the godly and the fallen angels. The Hebrew word in the Old Testament is malak, and in the New Testament Greek word is angelos, and the Arabic word is malak. They all mean messenger due to their power to govern different affairs assigned to them, and they are occasionally referred to as human messengers. Angels not only carry messages to people, they also carry out God's will as He directs them. Samael is one out of the multitude of angelic beings God created. Angels are beings whose primary is to serve especially in the heavenly court, and worship God at any time because of their celestial nature. Though the Bible does not comment as to when they were created, and this includes Samael the angel. Unlike God, they are not eternal or omniscient. The word Samael from the biblical Hebrew word is called Shemuel, which means God is heard, Shama meaning heard, and El meaning God. Samael is often translated as Satan. As guardian angel and prince of Rome, he is the archenemy of Israel. Samael was also believed to be the father of Cain as he manipulated Eve and had carnal knowledge of her. Well, this explains the wicked nature of Cain and his desire to go against God. Some even said it was with Lilith, who in the Renaissance, Michelangelo portrayed Lilith as a half-woman, half-serpent, coiled around the tree of knowledge. Lilith was said to be the first woman created by God before Eve, and when she ran from the Garden of Eden, God told Samael to bring her soul. In the process of doing this, Samael fell in love with Lilith, and they began to have a sexual relationship which led to the birth of many demons. This made God angrier, and he became an archdeacon, no longer an archangel. Another tale suggests that he wanted Adam to eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, which he planted in the garden. God became angry with him and banished him from heaven. Just because he knew that he was been punished, he manipulated Eve to take the fruit. He did this out of jealousy, as he was out of favor with God, and wanted Adam to be punished as well. Samael was an angel of good and evil. He also appeared in many Jewish midrash, though his character seems to differ in various midrash. Although his major role was to tempt men to sin, he was also seen as one who stayed in the heavenly court, also accusing men whom he had caused to sin, and punishing them with the abundance of his wrath. In other words, Samael encouraged men to sin, and yet his function was to destroy sinners. That showed the depth of his deception. However, some believe that this function shows the good side of Samael, as destroying sinners is a way of doing good. Samael is an all-powerful archangel of death, and sometimes deals with men according to their actions. Samael had more powers with the elements of nature in the universe than the other angels, and it is also believed that God made him more powerful than other seraphims that stayed with him. Samael does not render judgment but waits on God for instruction on who is next for destruction, or, as the case may be, a sweet and welcoming death depending on the victim. For Samael, he gets super excited when he is sent to carry out the destruction of unrepentant men. In other beliefs, some other meanings of Samael are the venom of God, the poison of God, or the blindness of God, and he lived up to his name, as he is readily available to kill the children of men. He is the messenger of death, and he is responsible for collecting souls. The story fully told in the Apocalypse of Moses revealed that he wanted to take Moses' soul when Moses had an encounter with him in the seventh heaven, and because of his fearful look, Moses had to pray to God to deliver him from his hands. So what does he look like? Samael was a fearful beast with eyes from head to toe, and it will take 500 years to measure his height. In Christianity, he is often identified as a fallen angel, or seen as Satan himself, as his functions and qualities reflect that of Satan. He is believed to be the one that instigated King Manasseh to do evil in his time. He gave him the spirit of Belial, and he began to do the unthinkable, though he was not mentioned in the Bible as Samael. Some extra-biblical facts show that the prophet Isaiah already prophesied that Hezekiah's son, Manasseh, would be manipulated and destroyed by the angel Samael, and in fact it happened just like it was revealed by the prophet. Samael, according to research and findings of scholars, has many similarities with Satan, but he is an entity of his own. Samael is seen as the prince of demons or devils and chief of Satans. He is also seen as the influential prince in heaven that rules over angels in power. As an embodiment of evil, he was also seen as the one that brought calamity to the people of Israel and Judah, starting from the period of the Israelites' wilderness experiences, the worshipping of the golden calf, and most especially the Balaam's curse and blessing drama. All the sins and evil committed by the Israelites were supposedly caused by Samael, and he also saw to it that they were punished by God, and even sent into captivity as part of the punishment. Nevertheless, no matter how much evil is accorded to this angel, some people think that Samael was a necessary evil we need as humans to checkmate our actions. They think that Samael will either bring the best or the worst out of a man, since what he does is tempt and manipulate a man to act against God's instruction. Then, if a man can resist him, it is believed that Samael has brought out the best character in that particular individual. This played out when Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and Satan came to tempt him. Jesus, however, resisted him, and that brought out the best in Jesus. Some also think that as Samael is the archangel of death, he offers help and solution to lasting pain in people. Some welcome death while some people see it as evil and not deserving to die. To the former, they believe that Samael would ease their pain quickly, and they will transition and forget totally about the pains they have passed through. To such people, they see death as a gift from God to the messenger of death, Samael. Also, some other people see his work in punishing sinners as the good and righteous part of Samael. The punishment meted on sinners put fear in the hearts of others who might want to go into that same line of sin. They think he is not entirely evil. He only executes what God asks him to do, and part of which is punishing sinners. He does the work of purging the world of sins and sinners. In Midrashic texts, he was seen as a heavenly host, but since God cast him out of heaven, he now rules the fifth heaven, which is the earth, Machin. He has over 2 million angels to himself who help in running the duties of seducing, accusing, and destroying mankind. Samael the angel was one created initially for a noble work, which is to worship God. Revelation 5:11-12. Then I looked, and I heard the voice of many angels around the throne, and the living creatures and the elders, and the number of them was myriads of myriads, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom, and might and honor and glory and blessing. And all the angels were standing around the throne, and around the elude the 4 living creatures, and they fell on their faces before the throne and worshipped God, even though the assignment given to him by God was to be an act of worship to God. He became untamed and wild, and he missed out on the eternal plans and purposes of God for everyone, including angels. Now he has his home in the pit of hell as his punishment for rebellion eternally. He no longer worshipped God. He fell with Lucifer and other angels. They all lived perverted lives and fell out of place with God. God is supreme and just. His creation cannot be wiser than him, the Creator. In him, all things were made, including angels and demons, and at the end, every knee must bow and every tongue confesses that Jesus is Lord. That includes Samael the angel that manipulates and destroys men as a result of his jealousy and wickedness toward mankind. Even if Samael has come to kill, Jesus Christ has come to give life to all that receives him, life in abundance. In conclusion, Samael served God's purpose, but that does not make him righteous. He is evil personified. Just because a person serves God's purpose does not necessarily mean that the person is good or in right standing with God. Everything and everyone God created serves God's purpose, but the way we do it will determine whether we will be at his right-hand side or left-hand left.